What would it take for you to be convinced that there's no white genocide in South Africa?
Well, I can answer that for President. It's for him. No, seriously.
I'd rather have him answer.
Yeah, I'd rather answer that. It will be.
Well, today we're going to answer exactly part of that question, which is, are these people victims of genocide? Were they being persecuted in South Africa? Are they going to America on American citizens' tax money, tax dollars, free of charge? Remember, they're getting a whole finished apartment, they're getting a chartered flight. They probably stay in a hotel where they wait for their finished apartments to be ready. They're going to get stipends. So it's American tax dollars money that ultimately foots the bill for all these so-called Afrikaner refugees. So firstly, I'm going to profile Thea van Straten. Just an overview, Thea van Straten is one of the refugees that flew over on the first batch. And her story that she tried to tell was told on Colonel Chris Wyatt's podcast, who is one of the MAGA enthusiasts. And from what she said, she has been attacked numerous times within the last 2 years. But I'm definitely sure if we check something like the police records in that area, we'll find that she's probably lying. Now, Thea, which area is Thea's from? Thea's from KZN. She's from a place called Van Rieenen. Her farm, well, what she claims to be her farm, is called the Barren Farm. And the story is going to start there. First and foremost, before I even continue, this is not again Thea's farm, because I ran a search on Windy property database, and what I found is that the not Barren, but the Oben farm actually belongs to 3 gentlemen, and all of them, each portion belongs to 3 gentlemen, and all of them are black. I have the documents in the description. You can view for yourself. It's also on my Twitter profile, where you can see the real owners of this farm. The first thing she does at this farm is she runs it as a guest farm, meaning that people book rooms there. If you go on over to, I'll leave the link in the description, Oben Farm, in Van Rieenen. Or if you're on booking.com, you can just go straight to booking.com, search Van Rieenen, you'll see Oben Gas Farm. This farm, I think they charge about 1,100 a night. My listing is a bit less because of the discounts, but it's about 1,000 a night to sleep at this farm, which doesn't, I don't know if maybe she has an arrangement with the owners, but she doesn't own this farm. Either she's renting it, but I don't know, but she does not own this farm. And she runs this farm as a guest farm. They have weddings there. It's also like an event venue, etc. They have weddings and all sorts of things. And what she does is that, they go around and they tell all these stories about how they own the farms, but she doesn't actually own the farm. She's either renting it, maybe from the owners, I don't know, or it hijacked. Because one thing I do know in South Africa is that people do hijack other people's properties. What a lot of these white scammers do, sort of to use white as an adjective, but most of them are white, they do this scam, is that they go to your property, they rent it for, let's say, a month or 2 months, and then afterwards, they refuse to leave. So basically, they squat there. And the issue in South Africa is that we have certain clauses in our constitution that do not allow people to just evict you without giving you an alternative accommodation, which is pretty much the same standard. So if you evict someone from an 85 hectare farm like she's staying at, or whatever, 13 hectare farm, that she's staying at, you have to put in a 13-hectare farm or something like that. So it's pretty technical, and if the farm is all you have, it might not be easy for you to evict that person. So you find that this person has been sitting there since 2022 or 2020, when she started posting this online, and she's squatted there and is refusing to leave. And I believe that's probably her situation, right? And then the other thing I picked up on Thea, her full name is Dorothea, is that she has a company, right? I think it was supposed to be like the side hustle on the farm where she hosts the wedding. It's called Barefoot Boho, like a bohemian wedding. So that Barefoot Bohemian Wedding company was registered in 2022, and she's the sole owner on the registration. So as you can see, her full name is Dorothea Hendrina Maria van Straten, but it's inactive. It's been deregistered, meaning that she hasn't paid the returns at CAPC. The returns are about 120 a year. I also have my own registered company, and that's how I was able to check. And the 120 a year, if you can't afford that, then you get registered. So she didn't pay that. Either she's bad at that, or, she's just generally bad payer. But, I'm not talking about a character here. We're talking about her as a refugee. And then the other thing is, on the very same company, she didn't use the farm's address, right, in Fadriane. She actually used an address somewhere in like an urban location in Ladysmith. So she actually used a Ladysmith address to register the company that became registered. So as you can see, the address is not the farm's address. It's not the Fadriane address. It's not Auburn Farm. It's a Ladysmith address, because essentially she does not own that farm. It's not her farm. So she, even on the video where she comes up and she's talking to that Chris Wyatt character, and she's saying that she's going to sell the farm, she has no farm to sell, because essentially the farm is not hers. And that's like fraud, right? And the other thing is, she has listed the farm on Agri for All. What's it called? Agri for All. And on Agri for All, she claims to be the owner. And she also claims to have a husband, which she doesn't. And she says a lot of things like this bottled water facility there, like people can bottle water there, which may be a lie. Because from my understanding, if you're to bottle water, you also have like a stream. It's a bit more mountainous. Places where they bottle water are more like Eastern Cape, Drakensberg side, with a good water source. And from the pictures I've seen, I doubt that she has such a bottling facility, like somewhere where she can source bottled water. So yeah, it looks like a whole scam on that situation. And that's the first person, right? And we're still at one, right? I started with that because she went on.